CO2 has been increasing in the atmosphere, and so we use the year 1750 as a baseline because that's before the start of the Industrial Revolution, when we started burning fossil fuels. So around the year 1750, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere was about 270, 280 parts per million. Today, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere is over 400 parts per million, so 412 about right now. So that's an increase of between 45 and 50%. A lot of that came from the burning of fossil fuels, coal, gas, and oil. And then the other big contributor has been what they call land use or land use change. So deforestation, burning of forests to clear land for agriculture, for grazing, or for crops. So about half of that extra greenhouse gases it's been staying in the atmosphere. And then the other half has been going into the world's oceans, as well as being taken up by the world's forests. So all of those excess greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are then causing warming climate, warming temperatures through what we call the greenhouse effect. All of these greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, water vapor, ozone, methane, nitrous oxide, those are the big five greenhouse gases. So they have this property that they absorb energy in the infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So they absorb infrared radiation, which is heat. So they have their characteristic property of these molecules is that they absorb heat and then they re-radiate it in all directions. So just think about a rock that you put out in the sun. And what happens to that rock? It gets warm. And so if you put your hand up to that rock, what do you feel? You feel heat. And that heat is infrared radiation. And that's the type of energy that those greenhouse gases absorb. With that trend in increasing warming temperatures, the forests are really starting to show signs of drought stress. What we want to do is we want to use tree rings as a way to chart a path between this really optimistic view that trees can save the world versus this idea that we're already seeing that the edge of the forest biome is already kind of starting to melt away and showing signs of drought stress. The concern here is that with all of those stressors, with climate and insect and fire, that we might actually lose forests and they might actually become a source of carbon to the atmosphere. When you burn a forest, it goes straight into the atmosphere. So there's a lot of concern about the signs of stress that we're seeing in our forests, and especially in the western US and the southwestern US.